Ma'am, open the door, police.
It's 2 a.m. What's going on?
We have a warrant. Open up now.
Can I see some ID first?
Lady, we don't have time for this. Open the door or we break it down.
I need to call someone.
It was 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night. Michelle Carter was working late in her home office. Then her Ring doorbell sent an alert. Someone was at her front door. She checked the camera. 2 men in police uniforms stood outside, but something felt wrong. "Ma'am, open the door." "Police," the first man said. "It's 2 a.m. What's going on?" Michelle asked through the speaker. "We have a warrant. Open up now," the second man demanded. "Can I see some ID first?" she asked. "Lady, we don't have time for this. Open the door or we break it down." "I just need to call someone," Michelle said. "You're making this way harder than it needs to be. You have 5 seconds." These men had no idea who they were threatening. The scared woman on the other side of that door was a civil rights lawyer. She had 14 years of experience. She had questioned real police officers over 200 times in court. Michelle knew within seconds their badges were fake. The fonts were wrong. The numbers did not match Atlanta police format. Real cops always announce their precinct. These 2 did not. Her Ring camera recorded everything, every threat, every lie, every second, all of it saved to the cloud before they even touched the door. She later filed a lawsuit for $15.7 million. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt unsafe in your own home? Drop your answer in the comments. Marcus Reeves and Daniel Thornton had no idea whose door they were pounding on that night. Michelle Denise Carter was not just any homeowner. She was a senior partner at her own law firm in Atlanta, Georgia. Her firm handled civil rights cases. She finished law school at Yale in the top 5% of her class. For 14 years, she defended people against police misconduct. She won over $47 million in settlements against law enforcement. Lawyers in her city called her the badge checker. She could spot fake police credentials in under 10 seconds. Here is what makes this even better. She trained with former FBI agents on how to identify fake badges. She helped make 3 documentaries about people pretending to be police. She even wrote a 40-page legal guide on proper warrant procedures. Law schools now use it to teach students. Michelle lived alone in a nice gated community in Buckhead, Atlanta. She had just won a big case against a corrupt sheriff's department. 3 officers lost their badges because of her work. On this Tuesday night, she was just reviewing case files before an early morning meeting. She had no idea she was about to become the victim in a case she would later fight herself. Now here is what happened next. Marcus Reeves and Daniel Thornton were not random criminals. They had done this before, many times. Marcus was 34 years old. He used to work as a mall security guard. He got fired for using too much force. He had been arrested twice for fraud and once for assault. He played the senior officer in their fake police act. Daniel was 29. He used to work as a locksmith. He knew how to pick locks. He had arrests for breaking into homes and stealing identities. He was the backup officer and the lock expert. Together, they had done 7 home invasions in 18 months. Every single time, they used fake police badges. Every time, they targeted wealthy neighborhoods. Every time, the victim was a woman living alone. Let me tell you about some of their past crimes. In March 2022, they hit a home in Dunwoody. They posed as detectives and stole $23,000 in jewelry. The victim was too scared to report it. In August 2022, they broke into a home in Sandy Springs. They claimed they had a drug warrant. They stole electronics and $8,000 cash. In February 2023, they targeted an elderly widow. They took her life savings. That was $67,000. They researched their targets carefully. They looked up public records for single women. They checked social media for travel plans. They bought fake badges online from overseas sellers. On October 14, 2023, they thought they found another easy target, a woman living alone in a nice neighborhood. Type "caught" in the comments if you think criminals like this deserve what is coming. It was Tuesday, October 14, 2023. The time was 1:47 a.m. Michelle lived in a gated community called the Preserve at Lenox. Her home was a 4-bedroom house at the end of a quiet street. She had a Ring doorbell, motion cameras, and smart locks. That night, the neighborhood was quiet. Most people were asleep. Michelle was the only one awake, working in her upstairs office. She had ordered Thai food earlier. The delivery driver was her last visitor at 8 p.m. At 1:42 a.m., a black car followed a resident through the community gate. The driver turned off the lights and parked 2 houses away. 5 minutes later, 2 men got out and walked toward Michelle's door. Her Ring camera detected motion. Her phone buzzed with an alert. Michelle checked the live video. She saw 2 men in what looked like police uniforms. Right away, something felt off. There was no police car. They did not announce which station they were from. Her heart beat faster, but her training kicked in. At 1:48 a.m., aggressive knocking started. "Police, open up." No names, no precinct, no badge numbers. Michelle turned on the Ring speaker from upstairs. She also started recording on her phone as backup. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. The first man spoke through the door. "We have a warrant for your arrest. Open the door now." Michelle stayed calm. "Which precinct are you from? Which judge signed the warrant?" The men looked at each other. "That is not important. Just open up." Real officers always know this information. Michelle knew they were lying. "I am going to call 911, she said. "We are the police," the first man said. "Do not waste their time." Michelle noticed they were shifting their weight. They seemed nervous. Real cops do not act like that. "Can I see the warrant through the window?" she asked. "It is in the car," the second man said. Another red flag. Officers always have warrants with them. "I will wait here until you show me proper papers," Michelle said. The second man, Daniel, started looking at her door lock. He was studying it. "You are obstructing justice," the first man, Marcus, said. "That is a crime." "Then call your supervisor," Michelle replied. "The supervisor is not available," Marcus said. At 2 a.m., another lie. "This is your final warning," Marcus said. "We are going to break down this door." But Michelle had already dialed 911. She stayed on the line. The dispatcher checked the system. No officers were sent to her address. "Real police are on their way now," Michelle said through the door. The men realized they were caught. Daniel kicked the door hard. It did not break. Michelle had a reinforced frame installed after past threats. Marcus tried to disable the Ring camera. He failed. The video was already uploading to the cloud. Michelle ran to her safe room. It was a home office with a reinforced door. She kept recording on her phone. She stayed on the line with 911. She described both men in detail. The Ring camera caught everything: their faces, the threats, the fake badges, the attempted break-in, even the license plate of their car as they ran away. Drop a comment and tell me what you would do if someone knocked on your door at 2 a.m. claiming to be police. At 2:03 a.m., real police arrived. Red and blue lights lit up the street. Sirens broke the quiet night. Marcus and Daniel saw the lights. They ran to their car, but a second patrol car blocked the community exit. There was nowhere to go. Officers caught both men within 90 seconds. They found fake police badges in their pockets. They found a fake warrant with a forged judge's signature. They found a lockpicking kit with 23 tools. They found photos of 12 other homes on their phones. Neither man could give a real badge number. Neither was in the police database. They were handcuffed at 2:07 a.m. 10 minutes later, Michelle came outside. The suspects were already in the back of police cars. She introduced herself to Sergeant James Patterson, the responding officer. "I am an attorney," she said. "I specialize in police misconduct. I have complete video and audio of everything they did." She walked the officers through the evidence. She pointed out every legal mistake the fake cops made. She explained what charges they could face. Sergeant Patterson later said she was the calmest crime victim he had ever met. Here is what police found that night: 2 fake Atlanta police badges bought online, a fake warrant with a forged signature from a real judge, a kit with lock-picking tools, burner phones with photos of 12 potential target homes, ski masks and zip ties in the car. The ski masks and zip ties scared investigators the most. Those items suggested the men planned to do more than just steal. Detective Maria Santos took over the case. She recognized the pattern right away. This matched 7 unsolved home invasions across North Atlanta. She contacted victims from those earlier crimes. One woman identified Marcus from a photo. Another recognized Daniel's voice from the ring recording. A third connected stolen jewelry to a pawn shop Marcus used. Over the next week, investigators built a massive case. 7 previous victims, over $200,000 in total losses, a clear pattern of targeting women who lived alone. When Marcus and Daniel learned their victim was a lawyer, their faces went pale. Marcus tried to say they were just checking on a friend. Daniel immediately asked for a lawyer. But it was too late. Everything was recorded. Everything was saved. Everything would be used against them. By 3 a.m. that night, both men sat in separate rooms at Atlanta Police Headquarters. The woman they thought would be easy was already planning the lawsuit that would make legal history. It is moments like these that remind us justice can still happen. Type "justice served" in the comments if you agree. Detective Maria Santos led the investigation. She worked with FBI agent Robert Chen because the men broke federal laws. Prosecutor Amanda Wright handled the case for the district attorney. The evidence was overwhelming. Michelle's Ring doorbell captured 18 minutes of clear video and audio. Her phone recorded 23 minutes, including the 911 call. A neighbor's Ring camera caught the car and license plate. Physical evidence made the case even stronger. Fake badges, forged warrant, lock-picking tools, photos of future targets. Now watch how their lies fell apart. First, they claimed to be undercover officers. Reality check. Neither had ever worked for any police department, not ever. Second, they claimed the warrant was real. The judge whose signature was on it confirmed he never signed it. It was a complete forgery. Third, they claimed they went to the wrong house, but investigators found photos of Michelle's home saved on their phones. They planned this attack. Fourth, they claimed this was their first time. Victims from 7 other break-ins said otherwise. Federal charges came fast. Both men faced counts of impersonating federal officers. That alone carries serious prison time. They also faced fraud charges and conspiracy charges. State charges piled on too: attempted burglary, attempted kidnapping, criminal trespass. Previous victims started coming forward. One woman from Dunwoody picked Marcus out of a photo lineup. A victim from Sandy Springs recognized Daniel's voice from the Ring recording. An elderly widow's stolen jewelry was traced to a pawn shop Marcus used. At the bail hearing, the judge denied bail for both men. He called them flight risks. He called them dangers to the community. This was a predatory pattern targeting vulnerable women, the judge said. The prosecutor argued that the ski masks and zip ties showed violent intent. If Michelle had opened that door, things could have ended very badly. But Michelle did not just want the justice system to handle this. She was going to make sure everyone who helped these men paid too. If you want to see more stories where criminals face real consequences, hit subscribe right now. Michelle's law firm released the Ring video to local news one day after the arrest. Within 24 hours, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution ran a front-page story. By day 2, national news picked it up. CNN covered it, NBC covered it, ABC covered it. By the end of the first week, the video had 4.7 million views across all platforms. On YouTube alone, news coverage got 2.3 million views. On Twitter, the hashtag #FakeOfficeExposed started trending nationally. On TikTok, legal experts made videos breaking down how Michelle stayed so calm. On Reddit, a post about the case got 47,000 upvotes. People could not stop talking about it. "This is why you never open the door at night," one comment said. "She was so calm because she knew exactly what they were doing wrong," said another. "Every woman needs a Ring camera after seeing this," wrote someone else. "The way she built the case in real time is amazing," another person added. Atlanta's police chief released a statement praising Michelle's quick thinking. The FBI started using this case in training materials. They teach agents how to spot people pretending to be officers. Multiple police departments across Georgia updated their rules. They told officers to always announce their precinct clearly. They wanted real cops to be easy to identify. Ring featured Michelle's story in a security awareness campaign. They offered her a spokesperson job. She turned it down. Home security sales jumped 34% in the Atlanta area after the story aired. Share this video if you think everyone should know about this story. Comment, Ring, if you think doorbell cameras should be in every home. In November 2023, Michelle filed her lawsuit. She used the federal court in Atlanta. She did not just sue the two men who tried to break in. She went after everyone who helped them. She sued Marcus Reeves and Daniel Thornton. That was obvious. She also sued the website that sold them fake badges. It was called Badge Direct. She sued a company called Lockmaster Tools that sold the lock-picking kit. She sued her homeowners association for failing to keep the gate secure. Her total demand was $15.7 million. $5 million for emotional distress and punitive damages from the criminals, $4 million from the fake badge company, $3.7 million from the lock-picking tool company, $3 million from the homeowners association. Now here is what happened next. Marcus and Daniel had no money. Any judgment against them would be mostly symbolic. The foreign badge company was hard to reach, but Michelle got a default judgment for $2.5 million on the record. The tool company settled quickly. The amount was kept private. Experts estimated around $800,000. The homeowners association fought at first. Then Michelle showed them Ring footage of their broken gate letting the criminals in. They settled for $1.2 million. They also agreed to upgrade all security. Total recovered was about $4.5 million. The criminal trial happened in August 2024. It lasted 3 weeks. The jury took only 4 hours to decide, guilty on all counts. In October 2024, the judge handed down sentences. Marcus Reeves got 18 years in federal prison. He must pay $340,000 to all victims. He can never return to Georgia after release. Daniel Thornton got 15 years in federal prison. He must pay $280,000. He got 3 extra years for state charges. The judge had strong words for both men. "You preyed on women's trust in law enforcement," he told Marcus. "Your skills as a locksmith became weapons," he told Daniel. 6 of the 7 previous victims gave statements at the sentencing. They described their ongoing fear, their trouble sleeping, their difficulty trusting anyone in uniform. Justice took time, but justice came. In October 2024, Michelle stood on the steps of the federal courthouse. Cameras surrounded her. She had something to say. "For 23 minutes that night, I was just another woman alone. I was afraid someone was going to break into my home. My training helped me, but no one should need a law degree to survive something like this." She paused and looked at the cameras. "I have represented hundreds of clients who were hurt by people pretending to have authority. This time, I was the client. It gave me a new view I will carry into every case for the rest of my career." Then she spoke to women everywhere. "Trust your gut. Real police officers will wait. They will show you their credentials. They will give you badge numbers. Anyone who threatens to break down your door for asking questions is not there to protect you." Michelle was not done. She had a message for companies too. "If you sell products that help criminals pretend to be police, you are part of the problem. If you manage communities and ignore security failures, you are part of the problem. This lawsuit put you on notice." Michelle used part of her settlement to start a new fund. It provides Ring cameras to women escaping domestic violence. She published a free guide on knowing your rights during police encounters. She now teaches a class at Yale Law School on home security and civil rights. Her final words at the press conference were simple. "They thought I was an easy target, a woman alone at 2 a.m. They had no idea I spent my whole career getting ready for exactly this moment." This case showed a bigger problem in America. The FBI says over 3,000 people pretend to be police officers every year. Only 23% get caught. Almost 80% of victims are women living alone. Michelle's case was different because she had legal training, she had resources, she knew her rights. Most victims do not. After this case, Georgia made police impersonation a more serious crime. Atlanta police changed how officers announced themselves. Rings started working with police on new safety features. But there is still no national way to check if a badge number is real. There are still no federal rules on selling fake badges online. This story proves one thing: when victims fight back with knowledge and evidence, they can win. So let me ask you, should companies that sell fake police badges face criminal charges? Should every police department give people a way to check if an officer is real? Should communities that fail to protect residents pay when something goes wrong? Because if we do not stop the companies that help criminals, if we do not give people ways to verify police, if we do not hold everyone accountable, then we are just waiting. Waiting for the next Marcus Reeves, the next Daniel Thornton, the next 2 a.m. knock on someone's door. Comment below if you think fake badge sales should require background checks. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep exposing these criminals. We are going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for safety, for justice, for the right to feel secure in your own home. This is not just about one attorney who outsmarted 2 criminals. This is about every person who has ever been afraid to answer their own door. And the system that made them feel that way. See you in the next one.